Hello, every conspiracy theorist out there and people who are too lazy to look up for any of this information and choose to go the just trust me bro route. Believe you and me when I say this. I have spent the past 24 to 48 hours of tireless slave labor to gather all this information. So,
I'm kinda cranky. I am sleepy. I am tired. I have bags under my eyes. You can't see them because I'm using a freaking avatar, but damn, dude.
Seriously. I mean, look at how much time is going to end up being on this video. Jesus Christ, you better appreciate this. I despise making scripts and reading from them, as it makes me sound disingenuous. So don't ever make me create a video like this in the future, you freaking donkeys! And Ducks Taco, in one of his recent videos, issued a challenge for those who could prove him wrong. You asked for this word salad, buddy. I hope you allocated enough hard drive space for all that I'm about to spew out to the public and to you. Suffer the consequences.
You.
So, for the sake of my sanity and not being a fan of tedious work, I decided to post these screenshots here at the beginning of the video in case you want to refer back to this information that I'm going to yap about, as well as post links to the web pages in case you want a further read. As for the Google AI searches, I intentionally left the keywords used in the search bar so you could type them in yourself for further explanations. So, I have allocated these tabs. Ugh, man, I'm so sleepy. In the upper part of my screen to show physical evidence to prove that A, DEI woke culture has nothing to do with USAID and who actually funds it. Spoilers, it's not necessarily taxpayer dollars. Who is actually responsible for creating the domino effect that led to the whole woke culture in the United States borders and in video games, and who is currently responsible for spreading DEI wokeness in video games and into US culture in current times. Spoiler alert, it's actually one particular state. So, let's start off with who is responsible for starting this whole thing with DEI movement. Meaning, who was the spark that started all of this nonsense? Well, it is none other than Mike Pence, who was the vice president to Donald J. Trump in his 2016 to 2020 stay in office, when Pence signed in 2015 the Indiana State Senate Bill 101, which was referred to as the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. The act was carefully worded in a way that would discriminate against LGBT people, and the law Pence signed was opposed by organizations such as the NCAA, Gen Con, and Disciples of Christ. Other opponents included Apple CEO Tim Cook, the Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, which later Pence, after further public backlash, reformed the law to include non-discrimination clauses. However, conservatives highly opposed these changes. While Pence backtracked on the law in his state, Donald J. Trump hired corrupt members to the Justice Department of Civil Rights Division and the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights, whom, on February 22nd of 2017, rescinded Title IX, which clarified protections of civil rights to trans people. Despite Joe Biden's best efforts to reverse the mess of the first Trump administration, unfortunately Biden fueled the flames of some of the dumbass policies of Trump's. And under the Biden administration, DEI was initiated. Now, I think people have heard this line before when Donald J. Trump has advocated to let states have some control over what policies are enacted by them. Keep this in mind for later on, because this is going to be very important. Now, we look into the whole USAID situation. I could debunk this entire rhetoric about taxpayer dollars used to fund DEI all over the world with one simple question. Who actually funds USAID? USAID is an independent organization that is home-based within the executive branch. Yes, the executive branch is in fact the White House, the same White House that our current president is residing in. As such, being an independent agency, it is really unable to receive funds from the public. That includes taxpayer dollars. So how does USAID get its funding? By congressional members as well as foreign operations, which basically is what I found out to be the bulk of the money. So what are foreign operations? They are business activities that take place outside of the United States, such as subsidiaries, joint ventures, or branches. A further breakdown and examples will be shown on screen. This is probably the only screenshot that I'm willing to put on here that is not tedious work. Other ways USAID gets its funding are private sectors, charities, and some companies. An example of these companies may be Texas Children's Hospital, General Motors, and or Veterans for America. These are just crude examples. It may not actually be the participants, but where do you see taxpayer dollars? The only thing that I found that does involve taxpayer dollars are federal grants, which is only really to be used for domestic purposes within the United States and not entities outside its borders. So the narrative that the US is paying for transgender plays, condoms, and DEI in other countries is simply not true. Other countries are paying for this. We are just simply the middleman through the approval of the outside entities giving us permission to distribute the funds to the countries who ask for these funds for these particular activities. We are not promoting DEI either to our foreign friends. These countries are doing it on their own fruition. Now for the gamer stuff. Where is all this woke stuff in video games coming from? Remember when I said that Donald Trump had wanted to give further power to states to make their small decisions? Well, this one state in particular, throughout my entire life, has in fact the most influence over the whole United States. Whatever this particular state does, most of the states over time follow suit. Before I reveal the state to you, I want to give you a chance to figure it out with this question. Where are most games made, developed, and distributed from? I'll give you 10 seconds. Trust me, it really is easy to figure out. If you're a hardcore gamer, this would be easy. If you're not, well, good luck, I guess. Okay, 10 seconds are done. For those of you still dumbfounded after 10 seconds, it is the most progressive state in all of the United States, California. And with the recent wildfire debacle and the promotional video of their fire department, you can probably tell that they are not in their right mind. This, coupled with Donald Trump's advocacy for giving more power to the states, the dissolving of Title IX, and the massive outrage that followed, resulted in the creation of games like Concord, Dragon Age, and that cringe anime High Guardian Spice. I'm not entirely sure how Sweet Baby Inc., who are based in Canada, fits into all this rhetoric, or how the acronym DEI was created, but you can rest assured that your US tax dollars are not in any way, shape, or form involved in this ridiculous rhetoric. Except maybe for California taxpayers. So this concludes my finding on the silliness that is going on, and I hope now you could all be relieved in knowing that everything is, well, almost okie dokie. Make sure you aim your pitchforks in the right direction. Requiescat in pace.